Hey guys, so another quick video. I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the questions I get asked, or I feel like I get asked by people, but they don't really come out and say it, is why we travel so much, and well, first of all, and why we're unschooling. The thing is I spent a lot of time as a child in Southeast Asia, mainly in Singapore. I'm British, but half American, as you can tell by my accent. And I spent most of my life actually traveling between France and the States, but about 18 years in France, so I consider France home. So I've been basically all around. It's kind of confusing, and it's hard to explain exactly where I'm from to people. But it exposed me to so many things that I would have never known if I had not traveled. It was the greatest gift my parents ever gave me. On top of that, my father was really big into learning. He was a scholar, and he was always watching the History Channel, always reading, always, he was a musician. He was also a geologist. So he was just really interested in a myriad of subjects. Anyway, so that rubbed off on me and made me want to actually learn more about the world. And so when we had Kaya, I went to boarding school from age 12 onward, and it was basically hell, very suffocating. I ended up having to take a form of speed, basically, in order to get good grades, because we had 6 or more hours of homework a night, and you just had to memorize. It wasn't learning, it was memorizing, testing, and then forgetting. That's kind of what school is. It's memorizing, testing, and then forgetting. People like to lie and say it's education. That's not education. That's just bullshit. That's what that's called. And I had been to public schools, and I had seen how classes were there at a few public schools, and I had been to a few private Christian or Catholic schools, and all of them, to me, failed, and they failed for different reasons. Then my husband taught in Korea, and there they go to school. They go to school, and then they go to an after school called Hagwon till 10 or midnight, or 10 or 11, excuse me, but sometimes they get home even later than that. And I just, all around, everywhere we've been, I went to school both in France and the States, so again, I can compare several countries, their educational systems. And there are definitely plus points in some, and that's great and wonderful, and France for me was wonderful. I loved it, but because I had been in that suffocating environment beforehand in boarding school in the States, I basically partied nonstop because I was just so worn out and so sick and tired of being told what to do, and then all of a sudden I had this freedom. I was treated like an adult, and that's what I wanted, but I did not know how to handle it after what had happened to me before. I just needed to get it out of my system. And it just, I ended up leaving school early because I felt I personally learned more on my own. From an early age, I have gone to various countries to study on my own accord, not because I was pushed to. I went to Kenya, and I learned Swahili through the Global Colleges program there, or I began learning Swahili. And anthropology, and then I was at Oxford doing the Oxbridge program. When I was 11, I went to Sea Camp, which was in the Keys, to study oceanography. And then I've done others. I went to Interlochen, and I studied bassoon there. I'm also a classically trained musician, and that was great, and I guess school was good for that, but at the same time it was pushed on me because my father was a musician. So anyway, I really wanted to expose my kids to travel. We love Asia. We love the cuisine. My husband can't eat gluten. We don't really eat meat. We eat fish, so I can't say we're vegetarian exactly, but I like to say we eat a mostly vegan diet because that's true. Mostly we eat vegan and occasionally have fish. So here, this is a perfect cuisine for us. On top of that, you can avoid the fast food Americanization of countries if you really love their cuisine. And since we're here, it's easy for us to just eat Thai food. I know some people who go to a foreign country, and because they don't like the cuisine, they will go eat American, junk food, or just junk food in general that's inspired by American fast food. So for us, this was a great place to come. There are obviously problems here, as there are problems everywhere, and maybe here they're a little more apparent, but we can have a nice house, a nice lifestyle. We've just found a company that we're going to be working with, and is from home, so we can have dad and mom with Kaya at home. So it's easier for me to have Billy here instead of working a 9 to 5 somewhere. The rent's cheaper here, obviously. We want to adopt one day, and we heard about the orphanage here and stuff, so we hope to check that out. And as well as having another baby, I couldn't afford to do it if I lived in the States, because to have Kaya, it was like $30,000, which as a young couple, I mean, because I had to have a C-section, I was in a car accident. I mean, $30,000, that's literally evil. Okay, it's flat out evil. It's evil. I guess there are payment plans, but in Los Angeles, when every single penny counts towards rent, because your rent is horrific, you know, it's not an option. So here I can afford to have a baby. I really love Thai people. We're in an area we want to be because we want to travel between, because we study Vedanta, we want to go to India. So we're only 4 hours away from there. We could go to Taiwan, Hong Kong, all these countries we love. So I feel that exposing Kaya to different places in the world, she was in Italy for 5 months before this, and Korea for a year before that. And so, I mean, you know, it's not that every single month I want to be traveling somewhere, because I do want to kind of settle down, but at the same time, it's not in my nature. And my husband has become more of a travel addict than I have. So I just feel also it promotes an understanding of life and of people much more so than reading a history book about other cultures, and normally history books are pretty tainted and opinionated, so you're not going to get the full perspective of a person. I mean, look at how people are so anti-Muslim nowadays, and most people don't know anything about that religion. They're just repeating what they've heard. So I feel it's a great education, and Billy does too, and she makes friends everywhere she goes. And since we're doing attachment parenting, you know, now that we have a house here and we can afford to have one, it's perfect. It's just, this is what we want to be doing and whatnot. So this is what works for us. Anyway, I encourage everybody to travel. You don't have to be a millionaire or something like that to do it. You can read 4-Hour Workweek to understand a little bit more about the importance of travel and how to finance your travels. Again, like I said, we found a company that we're working with now that we really like, and that'll help us to basically be able to travel whenever we want, not have to worry about going to an office. So anyway, I will talk to you guys next time. My husband really badly wants to do a video, so it'll be either me or him, okay? Bye.